नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ ऐंकार ह्रींकार रहस्ययुक्त श्रींकार गूढ़ार्थमहाविभूत्या ओंकार मर्म प्रतिपादिनीभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्याम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Invoking the grace of the Guru Mahatmas in the Guru Mandala, invoking the Karuna of Sri Mata Lalita Parameshwari. Today we are continuing our Sri Vidya Upasana and Vedanta session. For the past more than 4 or 5 classes, we are dealing with so many procedures for external worship, and we have done one meditation class in which I have shown the demo how to meditate upon the inner chakras, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna, Guru Pitam, Gayatri Pitam, Sri Vidya Pitam. With Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Aim, Hreem, Shreem. And I also focused upon the 10th center, which is not at all available in any other sadhanas. It is available only in Sri Vidya meditation. Sri Vidya Upasana is the external worship. Sri Vidya Dhyana is the internal meditation. And it is nothing but invoking the energies of the chakras. Invoking the energies of chakras within by way of chanting appropriate Bijakshara mantras. Just we have started with Om, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Om. But it will go on increasing as far as Bijaksharas are concerned. And some complicated Bijaksharas are also used, which we are not using in our Lagu Parayana. In our Lagu practice, Lagu Srividya Dhyana Krama, we are not using complicated mantras. We are using only simple, and anybody can chant mantras. Can be chanted by anybody. What is a mantra here? The mantra becomes an alambanam. What is alambanam? I have told already. If you take the picture of image of Sri Lalitambika or Sri Dakshinamurti or your Guru, or you are keeping an image with various features of appearance, then that becomes alambanam. You are meditating upon that. You are focusing upon that. You are thinking that alone. That becomes an alambanam. Center of attraction. Center of focus is alambanam. In stula form, in gross form. Then there comes pratikam. Sri Yantra is pratika upasana. Sri Yantra, Mahameru are pratikas. What kind of pratikas they are? They are rupa pratikas. They have a solid form. They have their own form in 3 dimensions. Sri Chakra in 2 dimensions. Now we are focusing upon Shabda. These Shabdas are Shabda Pratika. These Shabdas are Shabda Pratikas. Now we are treating this as the grossified, gross level Shabdas. But our aim is to cross Nama, Rupa, Shabda, and also we would like to reach Artha. So Aim is the Shabda. What is the Nama? Nama of that particular deity is Saraswati. During this Saraswati Puja, Navaratri Samaya, in Navaratri time, you can give these mantras to children. They can be initiated into Om Aim Om. Who can initiate? Those who have studied this class can initiate. Because you know what is the meaning of Aim. Mother or father can initiate their children. Don't initiate other children. You can initiate your children into Om Aim Om for young children. Above that, little grown-up children, you can advise them to chant Om Aim Maha Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Aim Maha Saraswatyai Namaha. You can say. Aim is the Saraswati Bijam. What is the Rupam? Nama is Saraswati. Rupa, the symbolic, immediately you visualize Saraswati. What you can think? You can visualize a Veena. This Veena is an Indian instrument which is used in Carnatic music and which will take long years to learn. Any Vedic art which are practiced in Vedic culture has this long time of learning is required. 12 years. At least you learn whether it is Carnatic music. First, you should get a right guru to teach Carnatic music. Or Veena like instruments, Vedic instruments, Mritangam, Veena. It will take 12 years to learn at least the basics. And after that, another 12 years may require for you to come up with expertise knowledge. So Veena is the symbol of knowledge. Nama, Rupa. Rupa is Veena. Nama is Saraswati. Veena Pustakatarini. Veena Pustakatarini, Saraswati. Shabda is Aim. Nama, Rupa, Shabda. And people are thinking that, oh, this group of people who are fond of chanting Aim Hrim Shrim or making the sounds of Aim Hrim Shrim. That's what the observer will think. But our aim is not only to chant the Shabda. We keep this Shabda as the Alambanam, as the center of focus. And what we meditate upon, we meditate upon the Artha, denoted by that Shabda. Denoted by that Shabda. So our aim is to meditate upon the Artha. So without knowing the Artha, meaning if you chant the mantra, that also will bring good benefit, but not to the core. So first we have to know the meaning of the mantra. I repeat, a mantra is a pratika like yantra. Yantra is the rupa pratika. Mantra is the shabda pratika. Pratibimba instead of. So that itself is not our aim. Some people used to ask me, Swamiji, I was keeping a guru's image in my home and it got broken when I was cleaning the puja room. It went to two pieces. What should I do? Is it any dosha or something negative will happen or what? I used to say, the bimba, the pradika, will break because it is breakable. But what will not break? The artha, what you are visualizing, understanding, and you are interested in, will never break. You can replace the bimbam. You can buy a new image and keep it there. What is that? Breakable is broken. But what does it indicate? That has no destruction because it is never born. It is ever existing. The ever existing is Ishvara. And it is manifested through this alambana. We give importance, we do abhisheka to the bimba, all those things are there. But you should know while doing this, the importance is not for the pratika, but the indication of pratika is important. What does it indicate? That is very important. In some new places, if you drive your car, You may not be able to reach the right road, and you may use some GPRS, and GPRS will show the path. Then you will find a board which shows this way. You will not get down that way. That under the board you will not get down. It shows the way. You have to reach the place. That is the job of Pradika. Once its job is over, you will understand, I am not worshipping this Mahameru, I am not worshipping this Sri Yantra, I am worshipping the meaning of the Sri Yantra. I am worshipping the knowledge what this Sri Yantra gives. Most of the people may think that these people are worshipping a copper plate or a bronze image. What is the use of that? What to contemplate upon? You have to contemplate upon the artha indicated by this Sri Yantra Mahameru. That is why we are reflecting upon the artha. Once you get the connectivity with that artha, you will get a fullness, completeness. If you are not able to connect with the artha and you are stopping at the image level, you'll be going on doing the pujas, and it will give you chitta shuddhi. But that itself is not our aim. After chitta shuddhi, we should understand the true knowledge, and further we have to travel. After realization, you will know there is no travel. Praptasya praptihi, not apraptasya praptihi. That will come later. But what I would like to highlight here in this class is our aim is not only worshipping the image of Devi, Mahameru, Sri Yantra. Our aim is to understand and to contemplate the tattva, artha indicated by these alambanam. Now we will continue our yesterday's understanding about Sri Yantra. This is the way to understand. Through the grace of Guru, we reach Devi worship. While doing Devi worship, we see an image of a Mata. And it is also well designed, particularly told. Then we go to three-dimensional Mahameru worship. And for more understanding, we take up Sri Yantra, which is two-dimensional. Then we meditate within, and our aim is to cross these limitations. This is the whole universe, what we understand as the material, energy, and the inbuilt knowledge. We see this as limited knowledge. Material is getting destroyed, energy also over. Now we understand these two were depending upon knowledge only, which is consciousness, which is Brahman. Material is perishable, perished. What about energy? Energy is also perishable. What remains? Consciousness. Where it is, how much it is, everywhere. All is Ishvara. All that here is Ishvara. This happens through creation, protection, destruction, disappearance, and appearance. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana, Anugraha. This already I have taught you. So the entire universe is this only. Our aim today is to connect this with Sri Yantra. In Atma Bodha, able to see the screen?
Yes, Swamiji.
Panchaprana Manobuddhi Dashendriya Samanvitam Apanchikrita Bhutotam Sukshmangam Bhoga Sadhanam. Pancha Prana Mano Buddhi Dashendriya Samanvitam. The subtle body, the instrument of Jiva's experience, consists of Pancha Prana. That is why we are doing, when doing the pujas, we are doing Pranaya Swaha, Panaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Yanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha, Brahmane Swaha. We are doing this Naivedya mantra. 10 organs. Karmendriya 5, Jnanendriya 5. And Manas and Buddhi. All are formed the Apanchikrita Panchamahabhutas, rudimentary elements, before their subdivision into combination with one another. So now it is in the Sukshma stage. Previously, Sthula stage was explained. Panchikrita Mahabhuta Sambhavam Karma Sanchitam Shariram Sukha Dukkanam Bhoga Ayatanam Uchyate. Bhoga Ayatanam Uchyate. Kindly confirm whether you are able to see the screen. I hope people are able to see. So Jivatma experiences happiness and sorrow, which is the result of past birth karma, through the gross body. pain, pleasure, disease, injuries, all are experienced. The physical body is made out of 5 great Sukshma Bhuta, subtle elements which are grossified through a process called Panchikarana. This also we have dealt. The process of Panchikarana is explained. One half portion of subtle element combines with 1/8 portion of other 4 elements. The body becomes the abode of happiness and sorrow. Now the body is created. How it is created? 50% of one element with 1/8 portion, 12.5% of other 4 elements. These elements are rudimentary elements, subtle elements. So what is formed is gross element. Stula, Sukshma, Karana are the Shariratrayas. In the Shloka Panchaprana reference is coming. I have given Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. 10 organs are sattvic. 5 organs of perception, 5 organs of action. The organs of perception are sattvic, sattva. Organs of action are rajasic. Hands, feet, organs of speech, evacuation and generation, regeneration. With this, manas and buddhi sattvika amsha are combining. So now the Stula and Sukshma are created. What is this Karana? From the Karana only everything happens. Anadi avidya anirvachya Karana upadihi uchyate. Upadi Tritayad anyam atmanam avadarayet. Anadi avidya. Vidya is covered by avidya. Avidya is ignorance, which is anirvachya, indescribable, because there is no beginning for the same, there is no end for the same. Beginningless is called the cause, which is an upadi superimposed on Atman. This is not existing, but seems to be existing. Know for sure that Atman is other than these 3 upadis. Now, we have studied about the Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. What we are in search for? We are in search for Atman. These 3 are not Atman. Panchakoshadi yogena tattanmayaiva stitaha. Shuddhatma Neela Vastradi Yogena Spatiko Yata. The pure consciousness is Shuddhatma. And it is in the union of Panchakoshas. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. And these 5 sheath bodies are misunderstood as those sheaths. As if in the beginning of the lecture I told, we are misunderstanding that this pratikam or bimbam itself is our aim. Our aim is not the bimbam or pratikam. Our aim is the truth indicated by the bimbam or pratikam. Our aim is not these 5 sheath bodies. The truth indicated by these 5 sheath bodies is our aim. So, what is Panchakosha Vivekaha? Panchakosha Vivekaha means not only knowing about the functions of Panchakoshas as Stula, Annamaya, Sukshma, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Pranamaya, Anandamaya. That is not the Viveka. Panchakosha Viveka means discriminating these Panchakoshas from the pure consciousness. Because of pure consciousness, these Panchakoshas are functioning. That is our aim. And we have to understand the self-evident Atma. Who is we? What is Atma? Both are one. Now this Manas Buddhi Chitta Ahankara has superimposed this Jagat, which is impermanent, on this Atman. In reality, Atman is the reality which gives the support to the unreality, which is Anatma. This is the first Viveka we need to know. So in the next shloka, Bhagavan says more knowledge. Vapuhu tushadibihi koshaihi yuktam yukti avagatataha. Atmanam antaram shuddham vivityat tandulam yata. As if we are separating the husk from the paddy and we are taking the rice. As if we are taking rice from paddy by way of pounding, by way of removing the husk by pounding. We remove the husk and we eat rice. This world is samuchaya of two, Atma and Anatma. You should gain the knowledge how to discriminate Atma, Anatma, how to remove the importance of Anatma. Yesterday there was a Satsanga question which is asked like this. Swamiji, your class is super. It's very interesting. But I am not able to understand or accept that you are telling this world is mithya. This world is mithya means what we are telling through Vedanta is we don't say the world doesn't exist. Because existence precedes. Existence is Ishvara. The world is Ishvara. The anityatvam is negated. The impermanency of this Jagat is negated. Has to be negated. Like we remove the husk. For that, we have to understand whatever we worshipped so far, whatever we do puja, whatever we do meditation upon, the Sri Yantra is nothing but our physical body. So here we understand the whole Sri Yantra is indicated Now I would like to equate Sri Yantra to the physical body. Now I am equating the Sri Yantra with the physical body, which is subtle, gross, as well as causal. What do you see here as gross is not our aim. What do you see here as subtle is not our aim. What do you see here as causal is not our aim. Our aim is to understand through this Aim, Hrim, Shrim, whatever is indicated. This Aim, Hrim, Shrim has to be crossed and to attain the truth and to understand the truth. That is why we are telling about 10th center. The 10th center is the truth, truth of truth, Brahman consciousness. Muladhara Chakra, Muladhara Chakra, Swadhisthana, Manipuraha, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Ajna. Then above the head, 3 chakras, Guru Pita, Gayatri Pita, Sri Vidya Pita. And again, we are explaining a 10th center, Dashamasthana. Now, Muladhara Chakra is this Trailokya Mohana Chakra. Trailokya Mohana Chakra, first chakra, which is having the 4 squares and 3 circles, is Muladhara Chakra. Swadhisthana is Sarvasha Paripuraka Chakra. Swadhisthana is Sarvasa Paripuraka Chakra. Manipuraka is Sarva Samkshopana Chakra. Anahata is the 14 triangles. Anahata is the 14 triangles. Sarva Saubhakya Dayaka Chakra. The outer 10 triangle is Vishuddhi Chakra. Sarvartha Sadhaka Chakra. The inner 10 triangle is Agnya Chakra. Sarva Rakshakara Chakra. And the 8th triangle is Guru Pita. There are Ashta Gurus, 8 kinds of Gurus, 8 Gurus are there, which we will study. The 8 triangles, innermost 8 triangles, represents the Guru Pita. And the innermost triangle, 1 triangle, it is nothing but Gayatri Pita. The innermost triangle you see, no? That is Gayatri Pita. And the 9th Pita or 9th section or the 9th enclosure of Sri Yantra is the Bindu point. And Bindu point comes to 9th place only. So Bindu point is also not our aim. Our aim is to understand the truth indicated by these 9 levels of consciousness. 9 levels of manifestation of consciousness. Our aim is to understand in the 10th center that Aham Brahmasmi. 10th center is the truth. Satyasya Satyam. So now, up to yesterday, we were studying about the names of the chakras. And we will also study about the devatas who are residing here in the Sri Yantra form and all. That is nothing but the energies within ourselves. And the text reference, if you want to study, you can study Bhavanopanishad. Bhavanopanishad is a sub-Upanishad and it has the secret of the Sri Yantra compared to the human physical body. Not only physical body, Stula Sukshma Karana Shariras, Shariratrayas. And the truth behind this Stula Sukshma Karana Shariras. That is our aim. For that only, we are doing all these Sri Vidya practices. What is the use of reaching the 10th center? After realizing the 10th center, all of your problems will be solved. Is it true, Swamiji? I am listening. Some people are asking, can my problem be solved forever? Yes, true. Because your problem is readily available as you have related yourself with Anatma. As long as I relate myself with Anatma, Anatma means what? This Jagat superimposed upon the truth, Ishvara, consciousness. As long as I don't recognize consciousness as myself, my problems will never end. That's what somebody told me, that I am attending a course in which they are teaching about how to be happy. How to be happy? Not at all possible. Whenever you use the word happiness, sorrow will also come. Whenever you use the word sorrow, it will be followed by happiness. No absolute happiness in this world. No absolute sorrow in this world. Knowing this is happiness. What is that? Knowing that happiness is temporary, sorrow is also temporary, is the real happiness. And it is the knowledge of the self, Atma Bodha, the Jnanam given by Sri Vidya Upasana, the knowledge given by the Vedanta texts, is that Brahman, which is understood in the 10th center. And what now we are doing? We are doing Aim in the Mooladhara Chakra, Hreem in the Swadhisthana Chakra, Shreem Manipura Chakra, Aim Anahata Chakra, Vishuddhi Hreem, Ajna Hreem, Guru Pita, Aim, Gayatri Pita, Hreem, Sri Vidya Pita, Shreem, coming down. Again, I am asking you to concentrate in the 10th center, which is again the same Bindu point in the Sri Yantra. You cannot go and search for the 10th point. Nowhere you can find. Nowhere you can find. In the Sri Yantra, if you are searching for the 10th point, 10th level of enclosure, there is no 10th enclosure. The same 9th enclosure is redefined. What is the 9th enclosure? Aham. Now the same Ahamkara is redefined as Ishvara. Aham is equal to Devi. So in that same way, this Ajna Chakra, which is called as Sarvarakshakara Chakra, will give the Raksha. What is the Raksha? Yes, this Jagat is Mithya. Because of its changing nature, what I perceive is Mithya. The perceiver is the Satya. Drik eva Satyam, Drishyam Mithya. This realization will come at the 10th center only. In this Samayachara Marga only, this is taught. Because it is based on Advaita Vedanta. So this path is called as Samayachara Sri Vidya Marga. Now in this session, we have studied about the 9 enclosures of Sri Yantra compared with the 9 chakras in Kundalini Yoga. The Sri Yantra 9 chakras and the Kundalini Yoga 9 chakras are one and the same. Now you tell me, where is the Mahameru and one person told, Swamiji, I have made my Mahameru in gold. One fellow told, I have made my Mahameru in bronze, but I have gold plated. The durability will be longer, that's all. You can buy a Mahameru for 1,000 rupees. At the same time, you can buy a Mahameru for 1 lakh rupees. What is the difference? The rupa is not our aim. The indicated truth is our aim. You can have Mahameru this size. For some people, somebody I gave this size, 1 foot Mahameru I gave. And some guests visited. They have told, no, you should not keep these Mahamerus at your home. Very dangerous, because you have to be very pure. As if we are all very impure. There can be 2 possibilities. In one way, I am always pure. As Atma, I am Shuddha. As the physical body, I am always Ashuddha. It doesn't mean that be Ashuddha, be impure. No, don't take in that way. The physical body cannot be pure for ever. Cannot be pure forever. If you wash this, again it will become dirty. Again I have to wash. No washing is required for Atman because I am consciousness. Consciousness doesn't need any purifying agents because it is already Shuddha. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Muktaha. So this is the whole idea. I am thinking that we are nearing the core concept of our course. Somehow I have brought this idea using various teaching methodologies. I am coming closer to the core idea of this topic. To understand more, some of you may know this story, but even then, for new participants, I am giving this story again. There were 10 Sishyas to a Guru. They were about to visit another ashram which is situated in the other side of the river. This ashram, this Guru's ashram is in this bank. Another ashram is in the other bank. There is also one Guru. This Guru ordered one person to lead the team, take these people to the other side and visit that ashram and pay your respect to the Guru. Come back again. While going, you have to cross a river in which there is great flood. Take a boat, row it carefully and reach the other side. Then this group leader took these people to the river bank. How many people are starting the journey? 10 people, including the leader. Then somehow he managed to row the boat and he gets down in the other bank with all other students. He remembered the warning of the Guru to be careful while crossing the river. So that he started counting the number of the students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9. What happened to the 10th person? He got shocked. Oh, he would have fallen into the river, roaring river with more flood, you would have died. Again, he counts from the right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where is the 10th person? Not available. Again and again, he got confused. Then somehow, the guru of that ashrama was waiting for these people, worried a little bit. He himself came to the bank of the river. Hey students, brahmacharis, what are you doing here? Swamiji, this has happened. I have missed one person. We were 10. When I am counting, they were 9 only. What happened to the 10th person? Then he asked how many people came. 10 people. Now count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. The counter is the 10th person. Forgetting this, he was having great worry, dukkha, as if he has lost a person. The person, nobody is lost, but he has forgotten. The Dashamah Purushaha, 10th person is I. Like that, in this Sri Yantra, there is no 10th enclosure. There are only 9 enclosures. In Sri Vidya Dhyana, there are only 9 centers for meditation. There is no 10th center. What is the 10th center? 10th center is your own Upalabdhisthana. And further, the 10th center is also not your aim to reach. The truth indicated by the 10th center has to be reached, has to be understood. For this only, we are doing Sri Vidya Upasana. So if you understand this Dashamaha Rahasya, it is called Dashamaha Vidya. If you do this Dashamaha Vidya, you will understand that I am Aham. Aham Dashamah Purushaha Asmi. Iti Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. You will realize. For that only this Upasana, for that only this sadhana, for that only we are all studying. Thank you for joining in the long journey. And I'm sure that this will clearly fix in your mind. And we are shortly, one announcement I would like to tell you now. We are shortly opening our Dayalaya Pathashala website. In that there is going to be a feature called Nitya Satsanga, Daily Satsanga, Dina Satsanga. There will be a column for that. It will be a video. I request our participants to take a video shot of your question. You can record in your mobile one question, and that question can be posted to Dayalaya Pathashala mail with your name and the written form of the question also. But it should be in video format. Then I will answer for that question in the video format. This is one of the feature of the website. Every day we will update, and that will appear in our Dayalaya Pathashala website. I request all of you to join in this program enthusiastically and record your question, type your question, attach this with a mail, send to our email ID. Every day I will try to answer one question so that it will be a complete program for the whole month. Every day one question will be answered and you will get the clear idea. Thank you for joining today. Dhanyavadaha.